Slovenia.
Guys, be quiet.
IVSA Brazil. You can say it in English, don't mind, because people may not get it. We have IVSA Colombia. IVSA Croatia. IVSA Czech Republic. IVSA Denmark.
Stand up.
IVSA Egypt. IVSA France. IVSA Germany. IVSA Greece.
Present, I'm not sure we have a specific one, but I will go with Korea turtles.
IVSA Indonesia.
Present, orang hutan.
IVSA Ireland.
Present. Ireland does not have an official national animal, but the unofficial one will be the red deer.
IVSA Italy.
Present. I don't know our national animal, but I don't know. Wolf? It's the wolf. Maybe. I don't know.
It's the Lucidan. Come on.
IVSA Latvia.
Present, it's the white-black bird.
IVSA Mexico.
Present. Realigo.
IVSA Morocco.
Present. It's the Warberry lion.
IVSA Peru.
Present, the puño, which is American cow.
IVSA Philippines.
Present. I don't know our national animal, but I think we have a national bird, the Philippine eagle.
IVSA Serbia. IVSA Slovenia.
Present. Tigana.
IVSA South Africa.
Present, ours is the springbuck.
IVSA South Korea.
Present. Tiger.
IVSA Switzerland.
Present, I don't know if it's the official one, but it's a cow.
IVSA Taiwan.
Present. It's a Formosan black bear.
IVSA the Netherlands.
Present is the lion.
IVSA Trinidad and Tobago.
Present is the scarlet ibis.
IVSA Tunisia,
President is the Arabian camel.
IVSA Uganda,
President is the President Crane.
IVSA UK,
So we have a couple countries. England is the lion, Scotland is the unicorn, Wales is the Welsh dragon, and North Ireland doesn't have one.
IVSA USA,
It is the bald eagle.
thank you so much. Our quorum today stands as 56.86%. Thank you.
Next up on the agenda, nominations for 73rd IVSA Congress 2 years away. Are there any nominations for 73rd IVSA Congress besides IVSA Colombia, no, IVSA Peru and IVSA Bosnia and Herzegovina? Any other nominations for 73rd IVSA Congress? Seeing none, nominations are closed and will reopen again at the next General Assembly. I'm sorry. There's too many things up here. Introduction of election procedures. Yuli. He needs 20 seconds. I'll give you 20 seconds. All right, he's already coming up here. I wasn't gonna sing into the mic.
All right, everyone. So, yeah, today is Elections Day, and at the moment, at the moment you should be receiving an email in your national MO email address with 2 codes and 1 link. The link for a Google form is still closed, so because you need to wait for me to explain everything, okay? So it's very similar to what we did on the 24th for nominee hour, the test elections, but today I'm going to give a better explanation about it. So EXCO chairs regional rep, and the symposium is voted by preferential voting, which means that we go by rounds. So you're going to put the preference of each candidate. So if you have 2 candidates, you have to say who is your first preference and who is your second. And if you have a third candidate, then you go first preference, second preference, third preference, and for now on. For trust and secretariat, we use
Plurality at large.
Thanks. Which means you only vote once, and the candidate with the highest amount of votes, they are elected up to the maximum amount of positions we have. So 6 for trust and 12 for secretariat. This Congress, for the first time, we are doing an electronic vote in a live event via Google Forms, and it's still secret though, meaning the election committee does not know who do you guys voted on. So, each MO has 2 votes, right? That's why you receive 2 codes. And the idea is that all local chapters come to agreement, depending the amount of local chapters you do have will vary, but everyone must have an equal say, and you need to, of course, discuss, hopefully you are the DBAT, as you're supposed to reach a concept on who you're going to vote for. Also, this year we're going to have 2 elections, right? So the forms you're receiving right now is for EXCO, symposium, chairs, and regional reps, all right? Then you're going to receive tomorrow a second Google Forms, also with 2 different codes for secretariat and trust, okay? Exactly, yeah. So again, the order of the elections will be EXCO, symposium, chair, regional rep, then tomorrow trust, secretariat, The forms will be open for 45 minutes, which is a sufficient amount of time for you guys to vote, considering that it's like very, very fast to do this. And we're gonna officially present the results on the next General Assembly, meaning tomorrow. In case you're running for a position, that's quite obvious, you won't be able to vote. But if you are the only delegate of your country, you are able to vote, but you cannot vote for your position. Meaning, IVSA France, Ireland, Philippines, and Trinidad and Tobago, and also Egypt, you guys will receive a different link, okay? Yeah, and how you're going to vote, that's quite simple, so you just click on the link, put the codes, and vote. Just a few reminders. For preferential voting, you put them in a preference in order, right? So your first preference, your second preference, third preference, and so on, okay? A specific thing for regional reps. A few people that were running for EXCO put regional rep as their second option. And since you'll be voting for EXCO and regional rep at the same time, their name will be shown twice. In case they win the election, their name will be taken out for the second option, that will be regional rep, and we're gonna change the preference. So if the EXCO person is your first preference, your second preference will become the first, your third will become the second, and now on. In case that person loses the election for EXCO, but it keeps the same, okay? 4.
Plurality at large.
You guys will just click on the box next to the person, right? You have 2 votes, so there will be two boxes aside for each name, and you can only, you can actually fill all the boxes because there are more than 12 in each row, but in each column, sorry. But in case you do that, your vote will be invalidated. You can only fill up to 12, so make sure you're counting very well. Each column cannot have more than 12 votes, okay? Another thing that's very important, you cannot vote against the candidate, but you can abstain, meaning you can fill up to 12 boxes for each vote, but you don't have to. You can use 11, 10, up to 0 if you don't like any of the candidates, right? This doesn't mean that you're voting against them, just that you are abstaining for voting. Okay, some important stuff so that your vote is valid. Pay attention to my presentation, guys. I see that some of you are not. Always double check if you're inserting the correct vote in the first 2 questions. Don't use the same code twice, right? There's very specific separation between the codes. And for preferential vote, you need to mark at least your first preference for each position, right? The second, third, and from now on, they're optional. So for example, if there are 4 people running for the same position, you need to mark at least the first preference. The second, the other candidates, if you don't like them, you can just abstain for voting. And of course, if you're going for secretariat, you cannot mark more than 12 boxes. And for trust, 6 boxes on each column. Now some cool examples, right? The smile is what you're supposed to do. The red thing is what you're not supposed to do, okay? So you can vote on all your preferences, you can vote on your first and abstain the others, but you cannot skip the first preference, okay? That's why it's red. Now that's the second example. This is how it's going to show up for you tomorrow for secretariat, right? So 2 columns, 1 for each vote, and you can fill up to 12 boxes for secretariat in each column, and 6 boxes for trust in each column as well. Now some important reminders. The voting system is anonymous, and of course it's very important. It's a long-term choice, right? The person you're putting right now is going to assume a position for 1 year, and he or she will have the ability to do important changes inside of our organization. So remember to vote wisely, okay? And also vote professionally, right? Don't use can I say this? Just vote wisely, guys. Now, some things you need to take into consideration for the vote. Of course, personal attributes. So let's just professionally look how the person works, how they work in a team, how compatible they are for the position, their skills, those kinds of things. That's why it was super important that all of you were here, the nominee hour, so that we can actually have this information. How is the motivation and dedication from this person towards IVSA, and their experience inside the organization and some outside experience that might be relevant for the position, okay? So basically vote on the person we think is more capable for the position. Does anyone has any question? Awesome. So I'm going to open the forms that you already received the email, and we can start. Again, you have 45 minutes. And my friend from Switzerland will be taking the time, so it's exactly 45, guys.
All right, just so you know, we already gave you time to discuss all of the election stuff, to make sure you already know what you're voting on. We're going to continue with partner presentations now, while the forms are open. So get your voting delegate to do the voting, cast them on your behalf, and try to be quiet while we're doing our partner presentations. If you actually really, really need more time, you can always ask for it, if you know how. Okay, then we're gonna start with our partner presentation from SIVA. I'll first be playing a quick video for you guys, and then I'm gonna ask them to get up on stage and give you a partner presentation. It's not making a sound. Give me 1 minute.
SIVA's connections with the IVSA were strengthened several years ago. Connections with the IVSA was strengthened several years ago when the association was asked to support the setting up of a dedicated veterinary student category in the prestigious World Veterinary Association's Global Animal Welfare Awards, supported by SIVA, as recognising students who've gone above and beyond in the field of animal welfare. So far, 3 students have won the Global Award, the latest being French student Anna Pascaud, who was awarded at the WVA Congress in Abu Dhabi earlier this year. But SIVA wanted to go further, so following talks with IVSA officials, a special fund was set up to support bids by members to stage projects in different parts of the world, such as this programme in Bangladesh, where students put on a welfare week through the association's Standing Committee on Animal Welfare, or SCORE, giving free veterinary treatments and vaccinations in poor communities. Students at the famous Makerere University in Kampala, Uganda, also successfully bid for financial support to clean up animal facilities there and improve the food given to dogs that had been taken in. This year in Abu Dhabi at the WVA Congress, SIVA held further talks with the IVSA's new president about extending and expanding the bursary project.
I believe being part of the association, working with our partners, working with SIVA allows us to really have, for example, project proposal, and then get students involved to create a little team that will make it happen, then work with partners to provide us with the necessary support, and then do something that has a real impact on veterinary work and veterinary profession, and students really enjoy it. And we can do a lot here, so we believe that in terms of veterinary education, this kind of project skill-focused trainings should be a better approach for the future.
This risk-free anti-rabies program staged by students from the Knust School of Veterinary Medicine in Ghana was also funded by the SIVA program, and SCORE reports that increased awareness of the bursary project has resulted in more bids globally.
I'm very happy to see that the numbers of applications increased this time compared to the last time we did it. So it raised from 14 to 23, and we are very happy to again support those awesome projects. Also the diversity and the outreach has increased. We have now also a lot of submissions of the Latin Americas and Asia, and we are very looking forward to work with them and make sure that those projects can happen.
Looking ahead, SIVA is now keen to develop further links with the IVSA as more programs come on stream, supported by their bursary fund.
SIVA could support IVSA by, first of all, providing the guidance, especially people who are not only experienced in veterinary medicine and animal welfare, but also working in global settings. We discussed actually before how similar some of our projects and mission is. We have similar goals, similar ideas, so why to do them separately? We should join forces, we can bring a fresh perspective as students, we can bring the experience, and we can really make things happen.
Veterinary medicine students are full of ideas and of great passion and projects they want to conduct, and IVSA, with the help of SIVA, can really put something together to make these dreams come true. And therefore, partnership with SIVA is very important for IVSA to actually have not only the funds, but also the inspiration for those projects, and to make sure that our members can grow and build up a capacity they could never get from the university.
All right, thank you, SIVA. The music made me want to dance, so. All right.
So hello everybody, can you hear me well?
Yes.
Good. Okay, thank you. So first let me introduce myself. My name is Janaína, I'm from Brazil. I'm here representing SIVA. Just to give you a brief explanation about our partnership, how SIVA is working, especially on animal welfare, one welfare, so those very important topics. And as you have seen in the video, SIVA is playing an important role on this partnership with IVSA, and we are really proud of it. So it's a very big pleasure to be here representing this partnership and also being part of this big congress. So I'm a vet by training also, so again I'm very proud to be here in this university back. I didn't study here, but USP is very important in our research. We have a lot of partners here, so again, very important to be participating here. So I don't know if all of you know SIVA, the company, so I will give you just a short introduction about the company, and I'll be here participating the whole day, and if you have questions about the company, if you want to know more, it will be a pleasure also to talk with you and talk more about the company. Mariana here in the first line is also part of our team. She's working on clinical development directly with clinical studies for SIVA Brazil. And she will be here also today and can talk with all of you and answer questions if you want to. So SIVA is one of the biggest companies in the animal health industry. It's a French company, 23 years in the market. In the ranking of the biggest animal health companies is the fifth biggest company in the world, based in most of the countries. and doing a lot of initiatives worldwide to look for animal welfare, to One Health. So that's a little bit about what we will talk during the presentation. So why One Welfare and One Health is part of the business proposal in SIVA. So if we look for the One Welfare and One Health umbrella, we see that many of the animal topics are there. So if you look for food safety, for animal welfare, for animal well-being, all of those topics need to be considered when we talk about One Welfare as a big topic. So that's why SIVA is looking for there and considering One Welfare as one of the biggest topics in our business proposal. So our business proposal today, it's been changed recently, and that's how it's written today, and it's one of the biggest drivens for our work today. So that's how it is today. Together, our passionate people drive innovative health solutions for all animals, contributing to the future of our diverse planet. So here you can see that One Welfare and One Health are part of our business proposal, and that's how we build it. So that was not built by an external company or by the board of the company. SIVA made a long process. It was 18 months. The employees discussing what should be the big business proposal that the company should look for. And after those discussions, we came to these 5 big groups that we as SIVA employees really decided that we should look for and that we should have initiatives. So One Health is one of the groups. I'm part of this group, and I will mention some of the initiatives that we are doing as a company to look for it. So sustainability also is one of these initiatives that we are looking for. So looking for carbon reduction, not only as a company, but internally, but externally also, how we can impact it on the animal food chain, on the production. Animal welfare, of course, it's a big topic, and I will mention many initiatives here that SIVA is working with. So again, not only internally in our clinical studies in the animals that we directly impact, but also externally, looking for the customers, looking to the biodiversity. Once SIVA is here internally, how we really reach the life of the employees, how we look for diversity internally, how we increase the knowledge of all of the employees from SIVA to really look for all of those topics. And wildlife, biodiversity is also another topic, so how we as a company impact and can directly impact the biodiversity and those animals that are not directly involved in our daily business. So I will focus here on One Health and One Welfare, which are the working groups that I'm part of directly. So when we talk about One Welfare, we have some initiatives that are ongoing right now. The first one is to look about antibiotic use. As a company, we produce antibiotics. We are on this market and we have many antibiotics for all the species. So we are very much involved on how to look for the customers and how to commit to have a rationale and to help to protect the use of the antibiotics in a rational way and in a correct way, not increasing it and protecting the animals to the resistance and also the humans as a second level. And then looking for people and places, the second big project, is to look to the existing programs regarding zoonotic diseases. So SIVA is involved on many groups that look for zoonotic diseases to prevent and to really put knowledge on these topics on our customers. So for example, in Brazil, we do have a program to prevent leishmaniasis. So we have many products. We have a vaccine against leishmaniasis. We have products under development, and we have a big program to consolidate the knowledge on the vets, on the customers, and to look for those topics. So there are many ongoing projects regarding zoonotic disease. That's just one of the examples. And then regarding human and animal interactions, there is also some projects that are sponsorship by SIVA, and those are regarding human and animal bond. So we have some programs in France, some programs in US, and we have also some products that SIVA work with and that looks for human and animal bond, like the Feliway, the groups of products with pheromones that guarantee that the animals are really taking the best care that we can do. So here regarding animal welfare, we do have we have localized these 3 circles that shows where SIVA can really be involved on animal care. So the first one, of course, are the animals that are our first priority right now, are the animals that are under SIVA care. So the animals that we are directly involved on research or under industry proposals. So we need to use animals in some cases for releasing products, for quality control of products. So those are animals that are under our care, and SIVA is making a big effort to really put the 3R, to really look for it with prioritizing the best way to do it and to guarantee that we are taking care about those animals. So we have put in place last year one animal welfare charter and policy to guarantee that all the units of SIVA are taking care of those animals on the same way and using the best practice as possible. The second one is regarding the animals that are under our customers' care. So here are those programs to really bring more knowledge, to bring products, to do everything that we can to guarantee that our customers are taking care of the animals in the best way that is possible. And the third one is the animals that are out of our direct contact, is regarding wildlife and biodiversity, and we also do have some initiatives here. So here regarding 3R, as I told you, that's a must-do for SIVA and for all of the companies around the world. So we are looking for this and to really try to reduce the animals that are used as much as possible, and being involved not only internally to look for alternatives of methods that can really be out of using animals for research as much as possible. Here is an example of this where SIVA and MST are working together to develop alternative assays of in vitro studies to test products not using animals. So we have many others. Some are being developed internally, other in partnership with other companies as this one. And here regarding the second part of the circle, where we together with our customers are really bringing alternatives and bringing products to guarantee that animal welfare is involved in all of the ways that is possible. Here is a Brazilian initiative where we have a certificate of animal welfare of one of our products. It's Velactis, so it's used for drying calls, and that has been certificated as one of the products and one of the programs where we are taking care of animal welfare. So we are a welfare-friendly products company. And here regarding the third part of the circle, so regarding wildlife, that's how SIVA is looking for that. So we have created a SIVA Wildlife Research Fund. So there are some projects that will be sponsored by SIVA to take care and to look for wildlife. I will mention some of the projects here, but that was recently created also by the company to guarantee that we will focus not only on our direct clients and customers, but also for some other species that we can look for with the technologies that we have. So as some examples here of support, one of those, I will not mention all of them, but just as example, regarding one initiative that we had in Australia. So we had supported Koala Conservation. There has been a way that the koalas were affected by chlamydia, and those chlamydia were resistant for all of the antibiotics that they had access for. So that was very strange because they were not treated before, but the chlamydia that affected them had already a very high level of resistance for most of the antibiotics. So SIVA supported those situations, reopening one line of manufacturing, one antibiotic that we had in a past time. And that was one of the antibiotics that was still working for this chlamydia strain. So that was one way to support. So the koalas were treated with this SIVA antibiotic, and we were successfully on this, supported this situation. So we have some other initiatives here that we support, like in France we have an award for old breeds, so to try to keep those old breeds of animals on some regions of France. So we have an award for the customers that is still having those old breeds on their farms, and every year we award some of those customers. We have also some other initiatives like supporting the international cat care to improve the ways that the cats are treated in the clinics by the vets, and trying to put more of our products and our knowledge to keep them at home and at the vets also with the best care as possible. Here it was mentioned in the video, it is the award that SIVA sponsored together with IVSA. That was the last edition and the project that won the award, as mentioned in the video. So that's a little bit about what SIVA is doing on animal welfare and also on welfare. And we are really proud to be here supporting this event. We will be participating on the panel this afternoon, and happy to answer any other question regarding the company or our initiatives. Thank you.
Any questions for SIVA? All right.
Thank you very much for the presentation. I have one question. You mentioned that you are pushing the education and awareness of animal welfare within SIVA, but also external with the public. Can you share any situations or problems or challenges you occurred and how you approached and solved them and overcome them?
You mean externally, on public?
Yeah, on either public or internal. I can imagine that it can be sometimes challenging and that for sure some interesting situations can occur.
Sure, it's really challenging, and we face that everywhere. So I will mention some examples from Brazil. I am part of the development group in Brazil, research and development, together with Mariana. So we really need to work directly with studies on animals. That is mandatory by our authorities in Brazil and externally also. So that's a big challenge for us, because we try to reduce the number of studies conducted in animals everywhere and every time, but that's something that is mandatory by the authorities. So we are on the two sides. So that's one of the initiatives that we are always involved with daily, to try to reduce the number of animals, the number of sites that are really needed by the authorities. And we are directly involved on it, on trying to convince the authorities that sometimes we should not do a study, or sometimes a study is not needed. So trying to do it as much as possible is one of our daily challenges everywhere in all of the countries, not only in Brazil. But that's still very hard, because the authorities is still trying to raise the bar to guarantee that we have safety and that we have the best products in the market, but from the other side we need to take care of the animals and to look for the free yard and try to replace those studies for other models.
Any other questions?
They will also be attending our formal dinner tonight, so if something comes up in the meantime, make sure to go and talk to them. Also, if nothing comes up in the meantime, you can just have a normal conversation with them. Next up, WSAVA. Alejandra, where are you? Can you come up with that microphone? This one's not working that well anymore. So we can switch them up.
Okay. Hello everyone. First of all, thank you for inviting me to be here. It's a pleasure. I graduated in this school, so I feel at home. I'm always here, all the time, at least 4 or 5 times a year. I come here to see my friends, to give lectures. So it's a pleasure to be here with you all. I'm sorry, I don't know what has happened with my WSAVA logo. In my computer it was correct, but in this one something happened. Okay, let me start. Why I'm here, what I wanted to talk to you about is some information about our WSAVA, or World Small Animal Veterinary Association. And actually at the moment I am working as the co-chair of the scientific committee. I am a member of the Vaccination Guidelines group, and I also am a member of the Abstinent project. I am going to talk about this during my presentation. And of course, you may understand that I am retired, so that's why I'm working in so many different committees in Wasaba. Well, what's the WSAVA? We are an association of associations, which means we don't have, like, you cannot be a member. The members of WSAVA are the country associations. For instance, in Brazil, we have the Small Animal Association, is called Untitled. So Untitled is a member of WSAVA. So actually, WSAVA was created in 1959, and we have at the moment 150 member associations from all over the world, which are representing more or less 200,000 individuals, veterinarians. And our vision statement. our goal is to advance the health and welfare of companion animals through raising standards of veterinary care around the world. What does it mean? What it means is that we are trying to educate vets, to give them courses, knowledges, guidelines, congresses. We try to do as much as we can related to education, to vet education, related to veterinary small animal medicine. And how we operate, much of our work is delivered through our committees. We have clinical committees, we have also operational committees, which I'm going to talk a little bit about. And that's how we used to work. So these committees, to be a committee member, first of all, this is a voluntary work. We are all volunteers, we don't receive anything to be a committee member. And we are usually experts in this field of the committee. So, for instance, I am a member of the Vaccination Guidelines group. I am a researcher in vaccinology, infectious diseases, and things like this. These committees, they work together. Sometimes we work independently, sometimes we work with other committees, and our goal is to give information, tools, and other educational resources to support vets around the world. So I've included all committees just for you to have an idea. We have the Animal Wellness and Welfare Committee, we have the Congress Steering, the Continuing Education Committee, the Global Dental Committee, the Financial Advisory Committee. And if you look at those, you will see that the Animal Wellness, the Continuing Education, the Global Dental, those are the scientific committees just in this slide here. Then we have the Global Nutrition, the Global Pain, the Hereditary Diseases, the Oncology, and the Leadership and Nomination Committees. The ones that are highlighted are the scientific ones. Why I am talking about those? Because if you go to the Wasaba website, if you go to wasaba.org, and if you go into each committee, you will have a lot of resources that can be useful for your education or for your update on veterinary skills. So then we have the One Health Committee, the Professional Wellness Committee, Reproduction Scientific Committee, Therapeutic Guidelines Group. So those are the scientific ones. And why the Scientific Committee is not highlighted here, it's because I am the co-chair of the Scientific Committee, but we are just in charge of the Congress. That's what we do usually. Oh, thank you. Just a second. So the Scientific Committee is the one that's in charge of the Congress, and that's why we are not considered as like a scientific one. And then we have the Translation and Access Task Force, which is really important because if you go to the website, you will find out that we have most of our resources translated into many languages because of our volunteers. And the last but not least, the Vaccination Guidelines Group, which is the one that I am a member. And so those are the guidelines that you can find now if you go into our website. You can find guidelines that are updated every 3 or 4 years. They have a lot of information, and you can just go into the website and find all those guidelines there. For instance, this is one of the last guidelines that was published. Actually, it's not a guidelines, but is a Wasaba list of essential medicines for cats and dogs. This is really useful, especially if you're going to have a clinic. So you can go into the website, go into the Therapeutic Guidelines Group, and you will find this resource to find out which medicines, which drugs do you really need to have in your clinic if you are starting to work on this. And this is our Vaccination Guidelines Group. This is our guidelines, the last one. This was published in 2016. We are updating it now, and probably in a couple of months we will have the 2022. And just to have an idea, it was translated into Chinese, French, Thailand, Japanese, Polish, Portuguese, Russian, and Spanish. This is a 45-page document, and you can have all this information in many languages. Apart from the guidelines and the committees and all these resources that you can find in the website, we also have the Wasaba Academy. In the Wasaba Academy, you will have lectures or courses that sometimes when we have our World Congress, usually we record part of the lectures, so those lectures can be found in the website, and sometimes we invite people to give lectures, and we also include in the Wasaba Academy. This is free, you can go and find a lot of lectures. This is just an example. It is the clinical update on canine and feline parvovirus infections. This was recorded by Professor Mike Leppen from Colorado State University in our Congress in Singapore. So this is just for you to have an idea that you can go there and find a lot of lectures that would interest. All of them related to small animal internal medicine. Then we have also the YouTube channel, our YouTube channel, where sometimes we include webinars. This is just to give you an example also. I have recorded this webinar, the first webinar from related to vaccination in small animals in 2020 in Portuguese. Then in 2021 I recorded the same webinar in Spanish. So you will find those webinars, and you can find all the webinars in our YouTube channel. This is another example. This is one in Spanish, this is another one in English. So you find in different languages, different webinars. Sometimes they are translated, sometimes they were recorded just in a different language. And then we have our Congress, our World Wasaba Congress. This year it will be in Peru, in Lima. And gosh, it would be really nice if you could join. There's a lot, there are many, many nice lectures. I am the co-chair of the scientific committee, so I'm really getting crazy about this Congress. You have no idea how it is. Well, you have an idea because you have done a great job here, but we will have 10 rooms, 3 days Congress, 10 rooms, and what we are trying to do, like since it is going to be in Peru, we will have just a room, 3 days of a room, just with Peruvian speakers, so it will be in Spanish, just local speakers. Then we have 3 other rooms with international speakers that are going to give lectures in Spanish. Then we have 3 other rooms that we will have English lectures but translated into Spanish, and then we have 3 other rooms just in English. So we try to do this when we have those congresses to support people from the local country. If they are not English speakers, native English speakers, or if they don't understand English, they can have a lot of options in their language. So that's what is happening this year. And you can go to Machu Picchu after Lima, yeah. Well, I don't know how to make this work. Let me see here. No. Please. This is too much.
Perspective of a young vet, just coming into practice, getting your feet wet, learning things. The advantage of a conference like Wasaba that you will not get in another North American conference is it's an international perspective. You get people from different cultures, different backgrounds, different experiences, with all the same problems. They're all coming into practice together. Wasaba brings in a lot of very young vets, so you get to network. figure out how other people in different countries are doing the same thing you are. It's a place where you can network and get very good, very fast friends, and you'll be Facebooking with them forever. So a young vet attending Wasaba can't help but be inspired. You come to a conference like this, over 3,000 vets, and as a young person, you look around and you see vets of all ages still with a passion, still trying to get the best for their patients that they treat. Every time I come to a conference like this, I get enthused, I get inspired. It's fantastic. Attending Wasaba is always a really strong benefit for me, particularly in terms of networking. I teach quite a bit around the world, and just to come to these conferences and reach out and network and expand your contacts is fantastic. And the other thing that really impacts on me is to realise how actually small the veterinary community is. That we're all looking to do the same thing, and we meet, and it's fantastic. You just expand your circle.
Okay, just to give you an idea, now I don't know how to leave this page. Thank you. And the 2023 will be in Lisbon, Portugal, the 2024 in Shanghai, China. So you are all welcome and invited to join us. And if you go to our website, you will find also all abstracts that were presented in our last congresses. So it's open, and you can find all lectures, abstracts that were presented, and an abstract of the lectures also. And I think you are interested in this. I wanted to talk a little bit about our Wasaba Michael J. Day Scholarship. What is this? Well, Michael Day, he was my husband. He was the chair of the Vaccination Guidelines group since 2009 until 2020, when he passed away in the beginning of the year. And he was an immunologist, and it's not because he was my husband, but he was like completely out of the curve, you know. He was an immunopathologist, and his passion was immunology and vaccinology. And he worked his whole life to try to raise standards on vaccination of dogs and cats around the world. So he had the opportunity to teach thousands of vets and to really improve the standard of vaccination in small animal medicine. So after he passed away, we wanted to do something about, like in his memory, and MSCD, that is our sponsor, the VGG sponsor in Wasaba, they gently gave us this opportunity to pay for a scholarship to any vet student around the world. Well, what is this? Yeah? The aim is to promote interest and research and companion on animal infectious diseases, but it needs not to be exactly in infectious diseases, it can be also in immunology, because this was one of Michael's passions also. So if there is something related to immune-mediated diseases, we will accept also, but the main goal, let's say like this, would be vaccinology or immunology. And the scholarship will support. This year, we are opening just for one vet. Maybe on next year's we will open to more than one. This is our first time. We are starting to see how it works. But we are opening to support one vet student to carry out a high-quality research project on small companion animal infectious disease, vaccinology, or immunology. So if you go to the website, you will find this application form. The applications are now opened. They end on August the 31st. And what you need to do, you need to find a supervisor. So you have to find a supervisor to help you, because the supervisor is the one that will fill mostly every information, all information that's asked in these forms. You have to decide for a project, go to the website, fill the form. You have to provide some information about yourself and your supervisor. And if you go to the website, you will find the terms and conditions. So it's nice to read them before you try to submit anything. The project is supposed to be done in 1 year or less, but we don't think it's going to be less than 1 year, but 1 year. And depending on the project, if we receive something that's really important, really interesting, and it needs to be done in more than 1 year, like maybe 2, we can have an exception and accept this one. The amount is $15,000. This is a lot of money to do a research project. And this money is not just for the project, but it also, you can spend on your flights, on everything you will need, the consumables that you will need to, the reagents that you will need to do the project, but also on your flights, on your visa, accommodation. So you can spend, for instance, 2 or 3 months in a university outside your country. Let's say you want to work with something that the lab from your university doesn't have, but in Spain they have this technology. You can contact this research institute in Spain, your supervisor will do this, they can have an agreement, and you can fly to Spain, we will pay for your flights, for your accommodation, we will send money for you to pay for everything you need to do this research. So you stay 2 or 3 months there, then you go back to your country and you finish your project. That's our idea. And if you want to do this in your own university, it's okay. It's up to you. So a student may apply to carry out a research project at home or elsewhere if you want to do this. So it's going to cover direct research costs, costs of visa requirements, flights, health insurance, and accommodation. Other costs that are not going to be, that are going to be responsibility of the student will be meals, local transport at their host location. Apart from this, everything else will be paid by us. So you have this, this form to be filled. You don't have to worry about this. If you find a supervisor, your supervisor will know how to fill this form. So this is not your job. Your job is, you are interested in doing a research in one of those fields, you find a supervisor and he is going to help, or she is going to help you to fill these forms, okay? Another thing is that after 3 months that the project was ended, you have to provide us with a report of at least 1,500 words, and we will really want you to publish those results in a journal if it's possible, or at least go to our next Wasaba Congress and we will pay for your expenses also. So you are going to our next Wasaba Congress to present your results, okay, your findings. Well, this is the Michael J. Day Scholarship, so if you are interested and if you have any doubts and if I can help you, even if I'm not here, I can provide you my mail, and I'm like, it's okay for me to try to help you in anything. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about another part of the Wasaba, that's the Wasaba Foundation, and it's our EFSCAN, it's another project that we have. Just for you to understand, we have the Wasaba Foundation, that's the one that have all the money and that organizes everything. Then we have one part of it that's Wasaba, that's the Congress, the committees, everything that I showed you in the beginning. And Wasaba Foundation supports another project that's called AFSCAN. And AFSCAN is African Small and Companion Animal Network. This was an idea of Michael and Gabriel Varga. Gabriel Varga is a Zoetis employee. He the chairman, he's the president of the Wasaba Foundation. He works for Zoetis, but he helps Wasaba also. And Gabriel Vaga and Michael decided to create this. What was their idea? Is to support vets from Africa, to try to give them more opportunities, information, opportunities of doing research and a lot of stuff like this. So what happens is that we work, I am part of the Wasaba board. When Michael passed away, I went into the board on his position. And we work nowadays with those countries. And why we don't work with every single African country? Because the country needs to have an association, a small animal veterinary association, and this association is the one that will contact EFSCAN and will be part of EFSCAN, the same way that Wasaba works. So if we work with those countries nowadays, and we have a lot of projects and awards, and I brought here just the one that could interest any African student. That is the EFSCAN Studentship Award. This award is, it enables an African undergraduate veterinary student to spend time during like their 2 last years of graduation in a lab. It can be in their university or in another university. So they can spend 2 or 3 months doing some research in another lab or in a lab in their university. So the project must address something related to welfare, One Health. We are really keen of having projects about One Health in Africa. And the scholarship is $1,000, $500 for to help with benches, with reagents and things like this, and $500 to support the student doing this project. And this award is already opened. We spent the last 2 years, we haven't had any award because of the pandemic. Now we started again, so it's opened for any African student from those countries that I have showed you. And the university is the one, or the school, the vet school, is the one that can put forward the application. It's not a student that goes into the website, it's the university, the dean of the university that will send a letter, or the chief of the department, saying that he wants to apply for this studentship award. So that's what I had to talk to you. If you have any questions, I'm more than welcome to reply, to answer. No? Oh, yes.
Matthias Brenker, IVSA Chairman. As a vet or as a vet student, is it necessary to be a member of Wasaba, or you can just join the congresses?
No. To go to, you are talking about the Michael J. scholarship. No,
the congress in...
No, the congress you can just be a vet student. You don't need to have any, just a vet student. You will have a discount, yeah. Just when you go to the website, you will find that vet students have pay less. Yeah, just this. You don't need to be a member of anything.
Okay, thank you.
Hello. I have one question. First of all, thank you very much for the presentation and for the great opportunities you offer to veterinary students. My question is regarding the guidelines. Are they achieved as a collaboration between the separate committees, or are they very specific for the committees, so each committee writes their own guidelines?
Yeah, no, they are specific. Actually, there are some committees that don't have guidelines, that publish other kind of information, But when we write a guideline, what we do is the committee members are the ones that write. And what we try to publish our vaccination guidelines, we send it to a journal before publishing in the website, just to be reviewed, peer-reviewed, you know, so we have an input from people outside. And then after it's published, we usually do this on Journal Small Animal Practice. And after we publish it, then we put it into the website. So we have enough input from people outside to see if we are doing the right thing. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Just to also quickly add on top of that, WSAV and IVSA together have a volunteer program for their conference. Oh, all right. I can anticipate IVSA's needs so well. Do you want to go? Thank you, Mark, for the introduction. As she had mentioned, we will have a volunteer program for the Wasaba Congress coming soon, this autumn in October in Lima, in Peru. Thank you very much, Mary, for introducing us to the Congress and what will happen at the Congress. So some brief summary also from me on the slides. But I think what interests you the most is the volunteer program. So we'll have around 45 volunteers from IVSA, so many of you are needed, please apply. And the volunteers will get a free registration for the Wasaba Congress, which is an amazing opportunity. The Congress will take place from the 29th to the 31st of October. However, volunteers will be needed earlier, already on the 27th of October in Lima, Peru. Of course, this volunteer program is in person, so you need to be present there in Peru to participate. You will have to cover your own transportation to Peru and accommodation. However, IVSA Peru will definitely help us with the accommodation. We had already a great chat with them. So thank you so much for the support. And the deadline to apply is the 31st of July, so end of this month. So just a couple days after this Congress, we will close applications. So please do not hesitate and apply to this opportunity. And if you have any questions, I will be the volunteer coordinator for this program. And feel free to just ask me now during Congress or email me at Abma@ivsa.org, since I will hand over my president email quite soon. So yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
I would also like to quickly mention that voting has officially been closed. Yay! And everything went well, so we're all very happy. They're counting the votes. Or well, the code has counted the votes, actually. Next up on the agenda, WVA. Rafael, thank you so much.
Is there the aircon thingy? Is the aircon thing over there? This, like, air condition. The air condition, like, remote. Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. First, I want to start thank the president of IVSA, EXCOM, all the officers for inviting me. I have a pleasure to share with you ideas, and any individual of you that have talked to me, I enjoy every day. Thank you very much. And I try to explain you what WD is. Wasaba is an association of associations. It's a federation. You can see from the 6 continents of the world. We are around 96 veterinary associations, and in total, these associations have around 600,000 veterinarians. I just mentioned some of the
most well-known organizations in each continent. From Europe, I'm going to mention the British Veterinary Association. From Africa, the South African Veterinary Association. From North America, American Veterinary Medical Association. From South America, from Latin America, the Consejo Federal de Medicina Veterinaria, that is the association here in Brazil. Only these associations have around 100,000 veterinarians. The Japanese Veterinary Medical Association from Asia, and the Australian Veterinary Association. For sure, some of you, when you finish your graduation, you will join some of the organization of your country, these countries of your own country. Our vision is to be recognized and be respected as a trusted and influential voice of the global veterinary medicine. The global veterinary medicine as a whole. Our profession has many specialties, many fields like facturation of working, but we try to have this transversal voice of all the profession. And our mission is to provide global leadership for veterinary profession and promote animal health, animal welfare, public health through advocacy, education, very important. You are in this process, all of us, we need education around our professional life, and partnership. It's very important, partnership. And again, in all the fields of the profession. Our core values are knowledge. The profession is based on knowledge and education, as I mentioned. Community. We are a global association, and of course, our challenges are global, and we need to build a community, a global community of veterinarians. Nimbleness, try to be, many times it's difficult to go to the point, especially if it's globally, but we try to do that. Transparency, we try to have our actions were transparent to everybody, and also respect each other, diversity, all respect different perspectives of the different cultures in the world, and so on. We have, for these 5 years, we have 4 main priority areas. One is animal welfare, the other one is veterinary education, One Health, and pharmaceutical stewardship. These 4 fields are important in any part of the profession, in any specialty of the profession. Doesn't matter if it's companion animals or food animals or wild animals. We need to use medicines for them. We need to respect the welfare of them. We need education to be specialized, to have the knowledge to treat in these fields, and also all of them are involved in One Health. And we have an additional point that is operation, visibility, and partnership. To do all these strategic priorities, we need to work in this way. This is our structure. We have a General Assembly that is composed by the representative of each member organization. After that, we have a council that is, the General Assembly normally meet once a year. The council meet 4 times, at least 4 times a year. It is composed by 2 representatives of each of the regions of the globe, that is North America, Latin America, Middle East and North Africa, Africa, and Asia and Europe. And then we have an EXCOM that meet every month and work in a daily basis. We have several committees, one in finances, communication, and policy, and 4 working groups. Animal welfare, veterinary education, pharmaceutical stewardship, and One Health are the same like the priorities I mentioned before. And in this moment, I want to mention also, I said that in the video that I sent to the inauguration, that we have an agreement with IVSA to have a student coming from the association, from IVS, to be part of these different working groups. We will be some observers, but it's very important for us to have your, as used to say, Anna, it's important to have in mind when you are building something, to have in mind the future and you are the future, then it's important to have your voice. I learned that of you, and thank you very much. Then, have in mind that we need your enthusiasm, we need your ideas, and you are very welcome in this working group. And this is the structure that I mentioned before, but now this is the persons that are behind this structure. These are the people from the council, 2022 and 2024. I am very happy with this council because it's quite gender balanced and also very diverse in the different regions of the world. And I want to tell you that we enjoy, when we are older than you, we enjoy very much when we meet together and share and try to work for the profession. That, as you mentioned yesterday, I heard some of you told that I am finishing IVSA term because I have finished my study. What I'm going to do, you have associations that you can be involved, even international, and this enthusiasm can continue after you finish your study. You can be involved in the veterinary profession organizations. You are very welcome also. In your national organization, because to be part of the World Veterinary Association, you need to be applied, you need to be appointed by your national organization. But then I encourage you to participate after your studies in the professional organization because it's very important. And yeah. And I think there's two places where veterinarians, doesn't matter where we are going to work, are together. One is in the university, another is in the association. Maybe it is compulsory, that in some cases the statutory bodies. I'm going to mention some of our activities. Network is very important. I'm going to mention just some of the organizations that we have some memorandum of understanding, whatever. One important for us, obviously, is the World Organization for Animal Health. We are working for animal, as veterinarians working for animal health and animal welfare, and this organization is the one that sets the standards globally. That was known before as OAE, probably some of you. Then the Food and Agricultural Organization, very important for the profession also. The World Medical Association, Wasaba, we have very good connection with Wasaba, and I mentioned a little bit, many talk about when Wasaba was found in 1959. That was in the World Veterinary Congress in Madrid. That means that the World Veterinary Association had been a kind of tree from where having different branches have been starting, because as long as far as the profession was divided in different specialties, have been created several branches as companion animals. You are doing a very good, but still we have a good connection. We work together, and of course IVSA, that for me is very important. And with my presence here, I can underline that I thank you. I have you in my mind to work for your future, because your future is the future of the profession. And many other committees, different organizations I want to be. And network is something, but we need to networking among persons. And there's some examples I put here. The first time I met Anna, that was in a congress, IVSA, was the Congress of the Schools, the General Assembly of the European Veterinary Schools, and we had the opportunity to start to talk about the present and the future. Another picture is with the Director General of OIE, the World Organization for Animal Welfare, and these other pictures, I am working with the Secretary of the World Medical Association. And I like to put this picture because I remember very clearly the conversation. The conversation was about the use of antimicrobials. Many times, the human doctors, they think that the antimicrobial system is only the fault of the veterinarians. That means to make them understand that it's not true, or it's part true, because they use, it's very important, this communication, this clear communication, and having face-to-face this communication. And this, I like to put this picture because that was, I remember that he was telling me, because you veterinarians use too many and too much antibiotics. And I try to convince this conversation, we need to continue. We need to continue. Then I will mention some of the position statement. One we are very proud is one that we did with the OIE, with the World Organization for Animal Health, declaring that during COVID-19 the veterinary activities were designated as essential. In some countries there was some doubt, but finally I think this joint declaration helped to consider in all the countries the veterinary activities indeed essential. And we have different other articles, position statements, press release, Reptile Awareness Day, One Health Day, many others. I want to thank you. We are here a representation of SIVA, and we are very proud of the agreement we have with them regarding these animal welfare awards. And we are, one of the first things when I took position was go to Libourne in France, near Bordeaux, the headquarters of SIVA, in order to talk about the future of these awards. Probably we are going to improve as much as possible this award. Another award is the award of the World Veterinary Day. That is the last one in May 2022. That was won by ADMA. We have, with MSD, we have a scholarship program that is, in Europe, is ADMA, that, the organization that manages these awards. In Europe is FEE, but in the rest of the world are WWA, and we have around 80, we are giving 80 scholarships. It's not a big amount, but it's very helpful for some students, 2,500 euros, to 2,500 euros. In total is 200,000. We have a project, a list of essential veterinary medicines for livestock, as Wasaba have for companion animals. We are developing one for livestock. We are also, it's very important regarding antibacterial resistance, talking with the United Nations, because they have a One Health Global Leadership Group for antibacterial resistance, and we have a representative there, a Canadian veterinarian, that try to defend the position of the veterinarians in this high international organization. We are developing a project for global quality standards in veterinary education, and also we are discussing, or we are developing a little program for training veterinary professionals in South Africa and in African countries. And I have had the opportunity to discuss with some of you this challenging question, because we need to be very clear what is the role of the veterinarian and the veterinary paraprofessional, and I have had the opportunity to talk with some of you about these important topics. One of the events that we do globally regarding One Health, we are going to discuss after in this panel discussion about One Health, is that we organize together with the World Medical Association and the two national organizations of this country, the World Veterinary Association, two global conferences on One Health. The first one that was in Madrid in 2015, and the second one was in Japan in 2016. In this picture you can see the Princess of Japan that was in the opening ceremony of this congress, that give you an idea of the importance of this topic in Japan. And I think in the room organize a new conference like this, because after the pandemic it's more clear than ever that we need to work together with human doctors in this topic of One Health. But for me, it's not only an issue to talk with the association, with the global association. One Health is a daily basis, it's a daily topic. We need to talk of One Health every day. We need to think in One Health every day in our work, and also with our colleagues of other professions like human doctors. Human doctors, of course, they play a role very important in health, managing the health in a country and in the globe. And my idea is that we need to have to increase the dialogue between human medicine and veterinary medicine because this is not health. And these pictures are for some doctors, some physicians that have been working very hardly during this pandemic. And I invite them to say, well, I joined the movement One Health. It's because that they are having the One Health, and there's a little video that say, I joined the movement One Health. Then it's simply, we need to talk, if you have any physician beside you, talk to them in your simply of your daily work and try to talk another, not only physicians, but any other people that are related with the environment and so on. Let me talk a little bit about the history of our association. I left for the end. Our association started in 1863, and there was these two professors, one from Scotland, Professor John Ganji, another from, that was from Stuttgart. At that time, in Stuttgart, there was a veterinary school that doesn't exist anymore, and both, they sent letters to the different schools in the world and different veterinary journals in the world, inviting them to come to go to Hamburg to have a gathering to discuss different topics. That was the first ever international veterinary congress in the world. And that is the origin of the World Veterinary Association. And the main goal to attract these people, that was an epidemic around the world for animals, that was the rinderpest, that as you can see in this map, that was devastating Eurasian continent and also African continent. That was in the 1860s. And after this congress, they came others, and the main discussion topic that was episodic diseases like the rinderpest, foot and mouth diseases, rabies, tuberculosis. Some of these diseases still we are battling against them. And in this congress, they decided that they conclude that there was necessary an international organization for control episodic. In the following congresses, the second one was in Vienna, that was measures against rinderpest, World International Regulation, and after these congresses, this scientific discussion in 1924, after this discussion was created the OIE, International Office for Epizootic, what is today the World Organization for Animal Welfare. That means that what is the importance of scientific discussion for change the world, for fight against diseases. And finally, the disease that was originated this association and this movement, that was in 2011, that was eradicated of the globe because OIE, but because the cooperation of the veterinary profession globally. We are facing now a pandemic. We are going to face probably others, but we need to work globally in any part of the profession together. This is what we try to do in WVA. Finally, this congress that started in 1863, we are very proud to take the relay of this first ever veterinary congress, International Veterinary Congress, and we, in these difficult times of pandemics, we were very happy because we are going to have a nice congress in Auckland, New Zealand, but 1 week before the New Zealand government closed the borders because the pandemic. Then we need to move the colleagues from New Zealand. They react very quickly, and they moved the congress to presence, to virtual, and was a big success. After that, the following congress was decided to be in 2021 in Taiwan, but that was impossible. They asked to delay, and finally, we were happy to have this year to open again this congress, this historical congress, and this congress was in Abu Dhabi, in Emirates. That was a hybrid format. That means that was in presence. It also was quite challenging for them, but we should see that that was a good congress, and we have a good representation of IVSA with Anya and Luren, and that was important. And now, I want to announce that the next year, we are going to have the congress, the World Veterinary Congress that we couldn't do in 2021 in Taiwan, in the city of Taipei. And this it's a nice theme that they chose, is all life is precious. I think not all of us agree on that, And also they say, Liho is that in Taiwan is say, hi. They are waiting for us, including the students. The students at Wasaba, you are going to have a very cheap fee to be part of this congress. And you are very welcome, especially probably it's more easy for the parties that are around Taiwan. But you are very welcome in Taiwan. And I learned in the roll call that the national animal in Taiwan was the Formosa black bear. That's there, Formosa black bear, that is welcoming you in Taiwan. Thank you very much.
Were there any questions for the WVA? You've already had all the opportunities to ask the questions. All right, before we continue with agenda from G1 onwards, the chair will now entertain a motion to go into recess for 10 minutes. So many hands. Trinity. Great. Any discussion on going into recess? Any objection? We're in recess. Stay seated for 1 second.
So before we go to recess, I would just like to take a minute to thank very much to all our speakers today, to all our partners, not only for the wonderful presentations, but also for the fruitful collaboration with IVSA, for all the opportunities you provide to IVSA members, and for the support you give us. Thank you so much. Now you can leave.
Great job! No, I'm all out of breath. I'm sorry. Someone did things to my computer. You're not supposed to see anything anymore. I'm going to go into my messages, and those are private. All right, I'm calling the GA back to order at 11:10 a.m. Brazil time. Next up on the agenda, partner presentation, FVE. The chair will now entertain a motion to table this agenda point. The last time I did this, lots of you raised their hands. Francie. Great job. Any discussion on tabling this agenda point? Any objection? Agenda point is tabled, which means we're going to go all the way down to the next agenda point, which is the partner presentation of the AVMA. Unfortunately, the AVMA could not join us here today, but they created a video for us that I will now show you.
Hola, I'm Dr. Jose Arce, President of the American Veterinary Medical Association. I wish I was in Sao Paulo today, addressing you in person, but I'm happy to report this update for you that highlights our recent efforts on behalf of our veterinary students. The AVMA is striving to build a closer relationship with the IVSA. As I communicated to you earlier today, our board of directors has taken a step forward in doing just that by approving a recommendation last week to invite a representative from the IVSA to participate in meetings of our Committee on International Veterinary Affairs, CIVA. This will allow the IVSA to learn more about the AVMA's global outreach initiatives and for our leadership to better understand the IVSA's role in global veterinary education and student initiatives. We're excited about this development and look forward to working with the IVSA in the future on issues most important to our veterinary students. The AVMA, through the efforts of our Student Initiatives team and our collaborative work with our national student organization, Abma, is committed to providing guidance, direction, and support to veterinary students in each phase of their education. This effort continues after graduation, as our recent graduate initiatives include developing and implementing programs and services for early career veterinarians. Our microsite, myveterinarilyfe.com, offers well-being financial and career tools and features webinars that will help you cultivate the personal and professional skills needed to advance you in your career. These courses are presented in partnership with the AVMA Veterinary Career Center, which also offers a comprehensive library of resources for career development and advancement. I invite you to visit our career center at avma.org/VCC. From our microsite, you can also access the AVMA's My Life Veterinary Life podcast series, which is hosted by 2 AVMA staff, veterinarians, and offers a personal glimpse into the lives of your colleagues. Here, you can listen to inspiring stories from colleagues across the profession about the journeys, challenges, and anecdotes that got them to where they are today, and come away with a fresh look at our veterinary community and renewed excitement to embrace your veterinary journey. In addition, our microsite features a section about career options for veterinary students. Within that section is a video that introduces you to a range of career possibilities available to you with your veterinary degree, as well as a list that serves as a useful starting point for exploring veterinary career options and offers a variety of links where more information can be obtained. MyVeterinaryLife.com also offers information about externships and internships, international exchange opportunities, tips for helping you pass important tests, how to find veterinary jobs within the federal government, developing effective communication skills, marketing yourself and how to stand head and shoulders above the rest of the crowd, and so much more. Switching gears now, creating socially conscious educational and work environments, as well as removing barriers to equity and inclusion are imperatives for veterinary professionals. Veterinarians take an oath to promote public health, and we work in an increasingly diverse world. Veterinarians, team members, and students must be equipped with the knowledge and skills to meet the needs of all clients and create a welcoming environment for all co-workers. The AVMA, along with many other veterinary associations and groups, is working to help the profession more closely reflect the diversity of the society we have all taken an oath to serve. As part of our efforts, just last month, the AVMA named its first ever Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer. Dr. Latonia Craig will join the AVMA's Executive Staff Leadership Team in September. She is an educator, scholar, and currently Assistant Dean for Inclusive Excellence at Purdue University College of Veterinary Medicine. Dr. Craig's background and record of success in advancing DEI throughout her career will contribute greatly to our goal of making veterinary medicine a more diverse and inclusive profession. Greater diversity and equity across the profession will strengthen veterinary teams and allow us to serve an increasingly diverse clientele more effectively. We look forward to welcoming Dr. Craig to the AVMA family and to her leading our DEI initiatives into the future. Our Board of Directors has also approved several items in the AVMA strategic plan and budget for 2022 that will help advance our DEI initiatives. This included creating opportunities for more diverse members to participate in AVMA volunteer leadership, integrating DEI concepts as part of the onboarding of AVMA volunteers, improving how we collect member and student demographic information by working closely with key partners such as Abma, the American Association of Veterinary Medical Colleges, and species-specific allied organizations, and performing a DEI internal audit of the AVMA with metrics to include all major operational systems and processes to provide us with a baseline on which to build additional DEI initiatives, and approving the 2022 DEI strategic framework, which will guide current and future work done in all areas of the AVMA as it relates to diversity, equity, and inclusion. A year ago, the AVMA and the American Association of Veterinary Medical Colleges joined forces to create the Commission for a Diverse, Equitable, and Inclusive Veterinary Profession, which brings veterinary organizations and individuals together to increase diversity and drive change and accountability throughout the veterinary profession. Its 60 members include individuals committed to DEI who bring a variety of perspectives to the Commission, including private practitioners, various species practices, veterinary students, veterinary technicians, hospital managers, association executives, affinity organizations with a DEI focus, academic institutions, and leading corporations in the animal health industry. To help explore the impact of stereotyping, unconscious bias, and workplace harassment, the AVMA offers a Brave Space certificate program on our digital educational platform, AVMA Access, which contains modules that provide practical tools and strategies for promoting healthier, safer, and more inclusive workplaces. And lastly, I encourage you to visit our webpage, avma.org/diversity, where you will find numerous tools and resources that help veterinarian professionals become better allies in support of equitable treatment for all. Although educational debt may not yet be a significant concern in your countries, at the AVMA we know that it has a significant impact on the career path choices for young veterinarians across the United States. Finding creative solutions to alleviate the veterinary debt load for our U.S. veterinary students and graduates is a top priority for the AVMA. The AVMA advocates on a range of higher education priorities that support veterinary borrowers and champions several veterinary-specific programs to help addressing educational debt within our community. The AVMA's priorities related to addressing educational debt are focused on several initiatives. Protecting and improving the Federal Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, which forgives the remaining debt on eligible loans for borrowers who have worked at least 10 years in public service on the nonprofit sector. Establishing a federal refinancing option to allow federal graduate and professional student loans to be refinanced whenever interest rates are lower and economic conditions are more favorable. Lowering interest rates and eliminating loan origination fees. Maintaining federal student loan borrowing limits. Restoring graduate and professional student eligibility for subsidized loans. Automatically pausing student loan repayment and interest accumulation for veterinarians pursuing advanced education and training. Expanding tools available for veterinary small business owners to help recruit and retrain veterinarians by using tax rates to assist with the payment of their educational debt. Ending taxation on the forgiven portion of student loans after the standard 20-25-year repayment terms. And lastly, encouraging higher educational institutions and lenders to offer training to help students make informed decisions about how to finance their graduate education. The Veterinary Medicine Loan Repayment Program, or VMLRP, is another federal program critical in addressing two significant challenges facing the U.S. veterinary profession: educational debt and rural veterinary shortages. As a result, the AVMA is actively seeking passage of the federal VMLRP Enhancement Act. This would end federal taxation on VMLRP awards and allow more veterinarians to participate in the program, which offers up to $25,000 a year for student loan repayments in exchange for service in areas that the U.S. Department of Agriculture has designated as having veterinary shortages. The AVMA also provides valuable tools and resources directly to veterinary students and those who have recently joined the profession. AVMA Action has resources for educating veterinarians on how to manage educational debt, and as mentioned earlier, our My Veterinary Life microsite has financial resources for current students, new veterinarians, and rising professionals. The AVMA has also recognizes that the educational debt burden can have an impact on well-being of new graduates and early career veterinarians in particular. In collaboration with many other veterinary associations and groups, the AVMA remains committed to offering our members and students access to a wide range of resources that support healthy living and self-care. We partner with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, other suicide prevention experts, and the American Association of Veterinary Medical Colleges to develop resources specifically for the veterinary community. This year, in an effort to help members build a healthy, thriving veterinary workplace, the AVMA is further expanding its focus on promoting workplace well-being through outreach, programming, consultation, and collaboration. Our new Train the Training Wellbeing Educator program, made possible through an educational grant from MERC, is one way we are helping build healthy teams. The training focuses on the link between effective communication and workplace well-being. It highlights core communication skills that build trust, increase rapport, and help create healthy, sustainable work cultures. Participants in this program will be equipped with the materials needed to conduct relationship-centered training in a wide variety of settings. For more information, please visit avma.org/trainthetrainer. Our Workplace Wellbeing Certificate Program, which provides the knowledge and skills to create a culture of well-being in the veterinary workplace, is also a valuable resource and is available on AVMA Access. The program is free to AVMA and Abma members and is accessible to all members of the veterinary team. Because of the importance of well-being in the veterinary profession, the AVMA and our insurance trust continues to offer free QPR suicide prevention training, short for question, persuade, refer, to all members of the veterinary community, including veterinary students. We continue to expand our library of cyberbullying and reputation management resources. Our latest addition is a series of brief videos on our website, avma.org, that addresses prevention of cyberbullying, responding effectively, and crisis management. And we continue to provide well-being outreach and education to veterinary professionals through a variety of accessible presentations and workshops. In order to help develop new well-being tools and resources, as well as provide continued support for our Workplace Well-Being Certificate Program and the Training the Trainer Well-Being Educator Program, Merck Animal Health recently pledged an additional $100,000 towards these ongoing efforts. We are very grateful for their support. Be sure to check out avma.org/wellbeing for resources designed to support students, veterinarians at all stages of their career, and all members of the veterinary team. The AVMA continues to be engaged in efforts to assist veterinary students in a number of other ways. As demonstrated earlier, we regularly collaborate with the American Association of Veterinary Medical Colleges in addressing major issues affecting veterinary students and the veterinary profession overall. And we continue to work with our federal lawmakers to support the profession, such as advocating for legislation that supports low interest or interest-free student loans to make veterinary medical education more accessible and more free. In addition, our charitable arm, the American Veterinary Medical Foundation, is committed to helping students offset the cost of a veterinary education by awarding veterinary student scholarships and grants. And through the joint efforts of the AVMA, SAGMA, and AVMA Trust, the All for Students program continues to provide financial support to our student chapters in the categories of professional development, leadership, well-being, and community outreach. Through these efforts and more, our students are getting the support they need to achieve success in their veterinary career. More recently, in an effort to provide a space for faculty members to interact, access resources, contribute to discussion topics, and communicate directly with the AVMA, last year we launched a new online community designed specifically for veterinary educators. The AVMA Online Educator Community is accessible to all veterinary educators holding an advanced degree, AVMA members and non-AVMA members alike, as long as they teach at an AVMA accredited school. In recent months, the community has hosted webinars related to economics in academia, competency-based veterinary education, diversity, equity, and inclusion in academia, and student and faculty well-being. We're developing more relevant content for our educated community as the platform continues to grow. As I close, I want to thank you for the opportunity to address you today. We are excited about all the great things the IVSA and its members have done and will do to help advance veterinary medicine and the care and welfare of animals around the world. In a world that has presented its share of challenges and uncertainty of late, we can confidently say that the future of our global profession is in good hands. I hope you enjoy the rest of the meeting, and I wish you continued success in your studies. Thank you, and divértase no Brasil.
I will talk briefly about the World Federation of Public Health Associations, which is also a partner of IVSA. Technically, IVSA is a member of the WFPHA. So I would like to talk about an opportunity which is coming 17th World Congress on Public Health. This Congress will be organized in May 2023 in Rome, Italy. And it will focus, of course, on public health. since the WFPHA is not only for veterinarians, but all the health professionals that are focusing on the public health matters. So we can see abstract submission opportunity. There are some deadlines, so take a picture and you can go to that website. This is just a screenshot of the website. You can read a little bit more about on your own if you're interested in this, but basically there's a submission of abstracts that you can provide for the WFPHA World Congress. It's gonna be an amazing opportunity. There are gonna be health professionals from many different fields from all over the world, so that's a great option for you to present your work. These are the fees for the delegates. We also have some reduced fees for the students. So if you wanted to sign up for the Congress, I would recommend you to do it as soon as possible. And yeah, don't miss this opportunity. If you have any questions about it, feel free to approach me and I'll tell you a little bit more. Thank you.
The presentation of attended events, Western Veterinary Conference update. Anya. Yuri.
Okay. So yeah, I'm going to talk about this conference that happened early in the beginning of March, Wasaba Veterinary Conference, and basically what I did there. So the event happened in Vegas. Unfortunately, I had to travel there and stay from the 6th up to the 9th of March. It's one of the biggest events in the US, and being the US one of the leading countries in pretty much any multinational company. It's very important for IVSA to be present there in order to have meetings with partners, meet new partners, all those kind of things, right? So for this specific event, due to the size and importance, I was there as Arrow together with Anya, as president, and by coincidence, Brandon, HLM, so honorary life member, was there, but he was not on behalf of IVSA. He was there kindly helping us. So thank you very much for that, Brendan. I know that you're just ignoring me on purpose. Okay, and basically what we did there was we come with approach to seek for new partners for IVSA. We had a very interesting meeting with the ones that are listed here. So Virbac, MSD, that the US is just called Merck, Vetokino, Elanco, that used to be Bayer. So kind of a company that we have, we used to collaborate with Bayer and Modivision, and now they are, since they switched, we still have figuring out the communication. So one of our goals there was actually to meet with them to establish a straight communication line. And the last one, BI, I cannot pronounce the full name, I'm very sorry for it. Thank you for that. That happens that. Okay, so then we went there with a contact that also Brandon, together with our partner Veterinary Care, VVC, they help us provide a close contact there. Besides seeking for new partners of IVSA, we also had some meetings that we planned. First of all, the meeting with Avma, that was one of the first live meetings we have to establish this new partnership that Jose just announced to us. A meeting with Purina Institute, our currently Diamond sponsor, in order to discuss the specifics of our renewal for the MOU. And also a meeting with IDEX. Also, again, I would like to thank the VC for arranging that meeting, and you, Brendan, for being there with us as well, even though you didn't need to. So thank you very much for the effort. IDEX is a multinational company that we want to start a collaboration with, and everything started there since, again, VVC and Brandon gave us a contact to meet there. And regarding IDEX, I'm going now at the end of this event to the ADMA conference, where we have a meeting scheduled with them, and hopefully we get something very good. And yeah, basically regarding the event, that was our goals, that's why you sent us there. And yeah, any questions?
Seeing none, we're moving on to the next agenda point, World Veterinary Association Congress. Anya?
All right, so more about WVA from me. I will give a brief update about the World Veterinary Association Congress that we have attended this year. It happened in March from the 29th until 31st of March in Abu Dhabi in Emirates. So I've been there with Luran on behalf of IVSA, and I'll talk a little bit about what we have been doing. So I have been invited as a panelist to several panel discussions during this event. Thank you very much to WVA for this invitation. One of the panel discussions was the 8th Annual Global One Health Summit. As you can see on the slide, we had amazing panelists there, so even more happy that I could be there on behalf of veterinary students, because obviously I was not there on behalf of myself. I was representing the voice of all of you, so that was an honor for me. We discussed different One Health matters, and also how important it is to meaningfully engage students in these discussions. Then I have attended the seminar on animal welfare. That was also a wonderful discussion with amazing panelists displayed over there on the slides. The key leading theme of this discussion was pain management in food production animal and animal welfare, of course, of the food production animal, which is a topic that's not tackled that often, and it's really great to start this important discussion on such an event like the WVA Congress. Then we had a veterinary education seminar with, again, this wonderful group of speakers, and we discussed veterinary education worldwide. Therefore, I think it's even more important to have students present during this discussion, because obviously if we will not talk about our needs, how can somebody else decide what is the best approach to veterinary education? Moreover, we had Global Animal Welfare Awards that we have already talked about today. This is collaboration between SIVA, WVA, and also IVSA for the student part. So there's always one veterinary student awarded with this award that had a significant contribution to animal welfare throughout the year. And this year, the prize went to Anna from IVSA France Nantes. So big congratulations to Anna and to all her work. So this is me awarding the award to Anna. Thank you for that. And yes, a few more words during the WVA Congress. We also had amazing opportunities to meet with all our partners. We had a discussion with the WVA about involvement of IVSA standing committees in the working groups of WVA, which have been a great success, as Rafael has already announced. We had a meeting with SIVA regarding our collaboration on the project with our standing committee on animal welfare and funding for the EMO projects that were also presented during this General Assembly. We had also a meeting with AVMA regarding our future collaboration, so it was a very fruitful Congress. If you have any other questions to me, please let me know.
Next up on the agenda, World Health Assembly and IFMSA Pre-Youth World Health Assembly update. Anya.
Anna Nishkirjai, EXCO, so now I'll talk about the World Health Assembly. So World Health Assembly happened this year from the 22nd until 28th of May. This is basically a decision-making body of the World Health Organization, WHO. In attendance, there's of course executive board of WHO, there are member states from all different countries, and there are non-state actors, so organizations that are in official relations with the WHO. So unfortunately, IVSA is not just yet in official relations with the WHO. However, there are two partner organizations, student organizations, that are always inviting us to be in their delegation in the name of One Health approach, which we are very thankful to. And this is IVSA, which is International Federation of Medical Student Associations, and the IPSF. So as you could see, this year we promoted applications to be part of this delegation, so technically any student can be part. And me and Lauren were selected for this opportunity, which is also very convenient because we could go there on behalf of EXCO. But keep an eye on this. Next year the applications will probably be open as well, so you guys can also apply. So thanks to that, we could be part of their delegation and work on several things. For example, for the IFMSA, before the Workshop Assembly, we had a pre-youth WHA meeting where all the delegates from IFMSA and partner organizations have met, and together we had many different workshops on One Health advocacy, and we developed those policy statements that are outlined there. So these are agenda points from the World Health Assembly meeting, and on each of these agenda points we have created a statement that was later on delivered and presented to the WHO during the WHA. I wanted to highlight that because I think it's very important that these policy statements were not only created by medical students, but there's, for example, me involved and gave an input from veterinary perspective to the statement, which gave it even a more One Health approach, especially to topic as important as tackling neglected tropical diseases or infectious diseases regarding the pandemic. Moreover, we had some advocacy activities. We advocated for the End TB campaign, we attended the Walk the Talk, and we tackled climate change. In the middle you can see a picture with Dr. Tedros, the WHO Director General, who joined our Fight for Climate campaign. And these are the meetings, one of the many meetings, I think the most important ones that we have conducted during this event. So I have met together with IFMSA with the End TB, so WHO tuberculosis department, and we discussed how we can involve better our standing committees, especially standing committee on One Health in those activities. We have also met together with Lauren with the NTD, so Neglected Tropical Diseases Department of WHO, again to discuss how our standing committee on One Health can be involved in their advocacy and activities. We have met with World Organization for Animal Health. If you still didn't catch the change of the name, it was OIE just a few months ago. And we also discussed future collaboration with OIE and then the FAO as well. Yeah, that was it from the update. Are there any questions? Okay, then back to you, Merle.
All right, next up on the agenda, European Association for European Veterinary Establishments, GA and Educational Day.
Okay, that's me again. I'm just here to IVSA Expo. I will give you an update on this. In June, 9 to 10 of June 2022, we have been invited to attend the General Assembly and Educational of Eve. And who was there? There was me, of course, on behalf of IVSA. There was Lisa, also invited as a speaker, our chair of the Alumni Network. There was Yuri, our president-elect. And Lauren, since it was also in Zurich, and he coordinated the volunteer activities over there of IVSA members. And big thank you to IVSA Zurich for providing help as volunteers during this event. Moving forward, both me and Lisa were invited officially as speakers for the Educational Day, and we gave a presentation about students' experience with mentorship programs. So briefly about the presentation, I have presented research studies that I conducted together with our Standing Committee on Career Attributes about mentorship programs for veterinary students, and basically gave an input about what should be included in this program and how important they are for veterinary students. It's a great opportunity to advocate for something this important to all the deans of veterinary, European veterinary faculties that are present there on that meeting. Then Lisa talked about mentor-mentee project of the Alumni Network and our Standing Committee on Wellness to present a little bit of IVSA activities on this matter. That was it. It was a really successful event. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me.
Tara, wake up. Now. Thank you. All right, next up on the agenda. Federation of European Companion Animal Veterinary Associations Euro Congress. Tessa van Duinen. Calling people out for sleeping is probably my favorite thing about being chair and the entire reason why I'm up here. Okay, so, report of the FICAVA Euro Congress 2022. FICAVA is one of our partners, and they have a really great, this is small, IVSA student travel scholarship. This meant that 10 students got free entrance to the Euro Congress, and they got 300 euros for their travels and accommodation, which is awesome. Me and my team, me and the Euro team, we helped select the students, and we brought it down to about 20, and then FICAVA made the final selection. 10 members were selected from the IVSA Europe region, and you can see us over here, and somewhere in there, there's Wolfgang and Meryl is also in this picture. You can see as one of the selected students. It was a great event. We had awesome lectures, there was networking opportunities, and we also had lots of fun. We went to a party with Wolfgang and Dennis, and it was awesome. And I could COVID, that was a bit sad. Then, Mental Health and Wellness Working Group. During the Congress, I attended the committee meeting of the Mental Health and Wellness Working Group, whose aim is to raise awareness and gather evidence regarding mental wellness in veterinaries in Europe. They produce infographics and articles. Like you can see one of the articles, which is quite interesting. So if you're interested in mental health, take a picture, look it up. It's free online. And we also shared a infographic on the IVSA social media because we helped a bit with it. But yeah, there's the poster. Oh, awesome! Just did some PowerPoint thingy. There was also the council meeting which I attended. It took a whole day. It was very long, but well, we're used to it with GAs over here. So during the council meeting, they presented results from the different working groups and committee meetings. They also discussed the scholarships, which included the student scholarship, but they also have scholarships for non-students. Next to that, there was also a lot of members from the Ukraine Association were present, and one of the members gave a speech about the situation there, and also the Vets for Ukraine initiative, which has been discussed earlier, was discussed, and a lot of organizational things I'm not going to bother you with. Yeah, this was some fun pictures. Here we have all these students who attended, and some of the, what was called now? 7GGA. Yes. There were also old people who talked about things they've done. Okay, sorry. Old president, like former presidents from FICAVA were there to talk about problems and difficulties within VetMed. Awesome picture, yay! And this was our dinner, which was very funny. Like, this was the dessert. This was us at the nice dinner. This was us at the party. It was very cool down there. It was an ice room. Okay, that's it. Thank you. We had a lot of fun. Are there any other questions for Tessa on this? All right, then we're moving on to the next agenda point, the GA of the FVE. Anya.
And the chair IVSA Exco, that's me again. I'll give a report about the FVE General Assembly. That happened in June, 16 to 18 of June in London. I was there, present, on behalf of IVSA. So it was a 3 days event. On the first day we had a General Assemblies of other associated organizations, for example, UEVP, which is European Association of Veterinary Practitioners, and I have been invited there as a speaker. I gave a presentation about the future of veterinary practice from student perspective, obviously, some more student voice at this important meeting. There is also every General Assembly. IVSA is a member of every, and I also gave at this General Assembly an update on IVSA activities and discussed future collaboration. Then the following 2 days we had the General Assembly of the Federation of Veterinarians of Europe, where I also gave a remarks. I spoke on behalf of students, and I was there to represent all of you. And during the General Assembly, I conducted several of virtual meetings with EVE, with VACAVA, Avma, FVE. There was also CVMA, so Canadian Veterinary Medical Association, and other partners that I got to meet. Are there any questions to me regarding this General Assembly? Okay, then Merle.
Next up on the agenda, presentation of and voting on the approval of new member organizations. Do we have Gabriel?
Should I go look for it?
I would like that very much. The chair will now entertain a motion to stand at ease. Lisa? We're at ease. You can now talk to each other because we need to wait for someone to show up. You cannot leave the room while we're doing a stand at ease. All right, you guys can get back seated again, please. All right, everyone sit down, be quiet, calling the GA back to order at 11:49 Brazil time. Gabriel, off you go.
Hey there, it's me again. So, right now we're going to be presenting and voting on the approval of new MOs. As Aaron would say, this is the most exciting part of the GA. So, let's do it. The MO we have right now as MO candidate is IVSA Tanzania. So here we have some general information about Tanzania. So it's one of the East African countries. It's officially known as the United Republic of Tanzania. And it has a total area of 947,303 square kilometers. Well, you have some other data about the GDP, and yeah, anyway, and some estimated population size as well. So here's Tanzania in the map, as you can see. About the local chapter information, so they have only one chapter there. So 5 years is required to finish the vet school, an average of 150 students per year, as per previous 4 years. And 5 developments in one annual hospital. 5 departments in one annual hospital. So Department of Anatomy and Pathology, Department of Physiology, Biochemistry and Pharmacology, Department of Microbiology, Parasitology, Biotechnology, Veterinary Medicine and Public Health, and Veterinary Surgery and Paragenology. So here are the proposal national board. So president would be Nelson Joseph, exchange officer would be Julius, and a third member would be Kokuhira. So that would be the third member, and some other students as well. So here we have a little bit about why they would like to join IVSA. So, they said that to be part of the veterinary world, that promoting the international application of veterinary skills, education, and knowledge, to share with other international veterinary students what we have in our local chapter in terms of project and educational opportunities, focusing on animal welfare, One Health, education, and professional skills. And what can they offer to IVSA members? So they said our local chapter, with the assistance of school administration, can set up exchange and placement programs and short tours for our IVSA members. I remind you guys that all of these information is as well at the Delegates Drive, so you can have that information beforehand. Activities that they're most excited to take part in, so exchanges, as we mentioned yesterday during the EO meeting. Volunteering opportunities, congresses, symposia, meetings, and any other activities related to veterinary medicine and One Health. So that's also their message. They said we are really grateful. We are grateful for the time and effort put forth to apply for IVSA membership because they're very motivated and expectations are constructive. We make a commitment to work as hard as we can to promote veterinary medicine through IVSA if given the opportunity to join.
The chair will now entertain the motion to stand at ease.
Martina Marina, IVSA Indonesia, also move.
We're at ease. Is there any discussion?
And that's huge. IVSA Exco, could we, before setting up ease, move to approve the new member organization? Okay.
I'll also discuss this. The slides are not here, so I'm standing at ease so Exco can go fix it. And then we continue the GA. Any objection, any more discussion on standing at ease? Any objections? We're at ease. Go fix the stuff. Then I'll call the GA back to order at 12 p.m. It just changes, it makes no sense. 12 p.m. Brazil time, and then we'll continue.
Gabriel IVSA Expo, back again. So after that, here we have the slides. So IVSA Tanzania. I move to accept IVSA Tanzania as a new IVSA member organization.
Any discussion on accepting IVSA Tanzania as our newest member organization? Any objections? Seeing none, motion passes. Welcome IVSA Tanzania. All right, that was everything for GA1 onwards, which means tomorrow all we need to do is the agenda points for tomorrow and the elections, trust and secretariat, and then we'll also announce results. So the chair will now entertain a motion to go into recess.
Yeah. Allison Brown, IVSA, Trinidad and Tobago, I so move.
All right. Any discussion on going into recess? Any objections? Seeing none, we're in recess. Lisa, there are announcements, as always.